Grind don't stop. Grind don't stop. Grind don't stop. Grind don't stop. Grind don't stop.
Alright, there we go. Hello, everyone. It's been a while since I've streamed. I kind of haven't been wanting to touch this channel because it feels like every single time I post something that isn't just a new animation, I immediately lose a lot of subs. But anyway, go ahead and move over here. Move the chat log up a little bit so people can see it. Anyway, yeah, here's the interface. Make this a bit bigger. Why is my avatar freaking out? There we go. Socket is real. So this wasn't originally planned to be a October release for the plushie. I just found it working out that way because of we were originally planning to drop it in August or September, but delays upon delays wound up happening because there was some problems with development. Apparently Socket is a lot harder to design than Pivot was. Anyway, I'm going to be animating a new meme. So, let's do it. If you also want to see the music, it is available in the bottom right hand corner. So because I have this set to windowed mode, you might not see some of the dialogue windows that pop up. Hello, hello, welcome. Yes, you can finally make Socket and Pivot smooch. No, it's kind of funny to just have this kind of darker music and stuff while I'm animating like this cheery, upbeat meme. How y'all doing today? Every day is a nice day to look at Robot. Over later. And I want to make a game eventually someday, because game development is convoluted. Right fucking shoulder. Honestly, like, one thing I've actually debated and stuff was actually, like, figuring out a way to make a PPO2 comic and stuff, making it into a webcomic. Or not a webcomic, a visual novel or some kind of game or platformer, maybe. But if I thought, like, a webcomic is a lot of work, I have a feeling a game, even a visual novel, will be just as much. I mean, not every single visual novel is a dating sim. Yeah, the idea that I wanted to do was I wanted to do like a platform that kind of used controls similar to like you'd expect in a brawler fighter like Smash Bros. It was one idea that I kind of had. I also wanted to potentially do something that was like a Mega Man style game and stuff, where it's like every enemy that you defeat and stuff, you basically can emulate their abilities to a degree. Yeah, I haven't really been posting to YouTube a whole lot lately and stuff, because whenever I do, it like cripples me in the algorithm. And I don't want to just upload junk posts because those also hurt. It's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You have to constantly be making one thing forever and stuff, otherwise the YouTube gods dislike you and are upset and will punish you for it. here's that song that I made an animation of that wound up getting wickedly popular for some reason. I'm very active outside of YouTube as well. Like, I still post regularly over on Twitter. Of course, I got my new grounds and stuff, which I actually need to upload some art to soon because I got some new stuff to post. Now they are real and they can kiss. They can smorch. You know, one downside of having a screen tablet, sometimes when you're drawing, you can't actually see where the line is going because your hand's in the way. And again, you will eventually see a story involving them. Again, it's just, I gotta actually do it. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I will eventually do it. I just don't know when that'll be. Is it really night? It's like 3:30 for me right now. Realize this is an outdated color set. I haven't seen Transformers 1. I haven't really watched Transformers movies since the Bayformers and stuff, which were, as we all know, the Bayformers. So overall, what games have y'all been playing lately? What kind of games are the cool kids into nowadays? Destiny 2, I'm so sorry. Monster Hunter Rise is very good. I really like Sunbreak. Honestly, like Rise kind of had a bit of a tumultuous development because it was developed during COVID, and as a result, like when it released, it was kind of a little bit incomplete and had a few like anti-synergies and issues with it. Like for instance, Lance, for instance, you had the guard skill Anchor Rage that you could get, or the Wirebug skill, which would give you a damage boost. Yet if you invested in guard skills, because the hit that you would block with it would be reduced in impact, you would actually get less of a damage buff. It was really weird. What inspired my art style? My art style is heavily inspired by Panty and Stocking. Probably one of my favorites. Excellent, Winton. Today we are animating some socket doing the doodle meme. You know, looking at a lot of the character designs that I think I have a thing for characters with bangs in their eyes. As stated earlier, I don't know when I will have the remaster or reboot ready to go. It's a lot of work. Making a webcomic was a lot of work, and my decision to basically restart it is not one that I make lightly. The original webcomic, however, is still all up there. It's linked in my description and stuff if you want to take a read and stuff and review any of the old content, though it is a few years old. And honestly, I wish that I could just take my time with it and stuff and take all the time I need, but given how the internet works, that's not how things shake out. There's a very finite amount of time that you can basically be allowed to work on stuff before it moves out of, well, people just stop caring. Anyway, I'm planning on releasing a lot of socket-themed stuff this month. I don't know if it'll all be YouTube video material, but all in an effort to promote the plushie. October, yes, we're going with that name. I would say Monster Hunter Rise does get very grindy once you get into the anomaly section of the game. Because, basically the post-game for Monster Hunter Sunbreak, or Rise and Sunbreak, wound up basically being something similar to the guild quest from Monster Hunter 4. However, they're like... They wound up implementing a lot of things to speed up the grind and stuff, but it's still a grind. Like, no way around it. Alright, time to draw everybody's favorite part of the drawing. Hey Zedrin, how come your robot girl has boobs? Because she deserves them, damn it. There are two, no, that's right. Three notes, okay. Alright. Now for shading. Well, actually, first I should probably put the pigs on everything, so that way everything can move around properly. Basically what I'm doing is I'm setting the anchor points for these components on where they drop, or where they are, so as a result when I rotate it, it'll rotate around the anchor point rather than who knows where. I can always adjust this and step to line it up properly. There we go, that looks better. Test all of these as I go through them. Then what I need to do is I need to set the parenting properly, which isn't that hard. It looks scary because there's like this spaghetti here. But all I gotta do is, right here I got the torso peg, I want that to be controlled by the waist peg. I want the torso peg to control the shoulders. And naturally I want the shoulders to control the arms to control the hands, and it basically just kind of cascades. That everything is now parented properly. go through and do the bones. That way I can add in some reformers. I need to get back into practicing 3D. Hello, can you play the song that goes beep beep boop bop bop? I've done a couple of things in 3D. I've learned and relearned Blender so many times, it's kind of frustrating. Shadows are done. I think that's actually everything at the base done. Let's see. timeline to animate at 12 frames per second. So it should be 24 frames per second. Stuff is tricky. Okay, so from what I understand, the hand in this scenario needs the lead, forearm needs to follow. There we go. looked at it in a minute. Hello again. I got hyper-focused. Airtime. It's not good at all. But not quite. It's a little more dramatic. I'm noticing a bit of wiggling. That's not good. Suffice. That's my thing right now. Okay. Just like rants. You are not immune to robot propaganda. Same thing with the other strand of hair. Do you mean the pull over animation? Question for you, as a TTRPG player, have you played Pathfinder, and if so, what are your feelings on it? Potential follow-up. I have played a lot of Pathfinder. I've done videos on Pathfinder. I am currently running 2 simultaneous games of the Bloodlords AP at the moment, which I have just started, actually. I am a big proponent of Pathfinder 2. It's not a perfect system, but it does a lot of things right that I really like, especially when it comes to fantasy RPGs. I'm probably between Pathfinder and Beacon for which one I would want to use for a home game. One issue that I do have with Pathfinder is that it has so many moving parts that it can be a little bit daunting sometimes. The power level for Pathfinder 2 starts out way lower, and then it gets to be really high as you go on, whereas something like Beacon is pretty consistently high in power level from the get-go. For the record, Beacon is basically Fantasy Lancer. I highly recommend that system as well. Both Lancer and Beacon and stuff, those are very... The thing that I like about Beacon and Lancer is basically that they are essentially build your own class systems rather than following a set class. And it's not a wrong or right way to do things, it's just something that I like that's interesting, because everything is balanced basically around its action economy and stuff rather than basically pure numbers. Whereas Pathfinder 2 is balanced by both its numbers and its action economy, and 5e and Pathfinder 1 are balanced mostly by its numbers. Spheres of Power / Magic, I actually don't know what that refers to. Isn't the Spheres of Power like a... Isn't that like a Lord of the Rings thing? Ah, I see. I've never played the Spheres of Power third-party supplement. Kind of funny because, Pathfinder was basically a third-party thing for 3.5, and then you have systems like that, which are then iterations of the iteration. I have used Elephant in the Room and stuff for Pathfinder 1. We're currently using it in a Wrath of the Righteous game. It's also especially useful because that's like a mythic campaign. Overall, I do like Pathfinder 2e more, at least for running, and for a few character concepts. There's a few character concepts I have that work in Pathfinder 1 but don't work in Pathfinder 2, like my Blood Rager. Likewise, some concepts that I have work in Pathfinder 2 but not Pathfinder 1, like some of the ideas that I have for Summoner, as well as some ideas that I have for, Alchemist. Specifically a Toxicologist, because Toxicologists actually work. They're not super amazing, they're not top tier, but they're still a lot better than they would be in Pathfinder 1, where poisons are basically a save or suck system. Hello, welcome. The key thing about Pathfinder 2 that I would say is like the biggest comparison, a lot of people like they'll make complaints and stuff about coming from Pathfinder 1 to Pathfinder 2. Some of the complaints they'll have is like, oh, X option is nerfed, or there's not as many options as there are in Pathfinder 1, or stuff like that, or like there's a lot of comparisons like that. But really, I think the most pivotal one that you will find for Pathfinder 1 versus Pathfinder 2 is, do you want to play a system where the more complex it is and the more you understand it, the stronger you can get? Or would you rather that just translates to you get to play something more complex and more interesting? Because Pathfinder 2e, your reward for playing a more complex class, like the quadratic wizard and stuff like that, is you get to play a quadratic wizard rather than, you know, your head and shoulders more powerful than everyone else. And some people want that whole, like, difficult to learn class and stuff that you get rewarded for it. But as a GM, I honestly prefer, like, everybody's, like, kind of roughly on the same playing field, even if some classes are harder to play than others. Everybody has the potential to basically be just as good as everybody else. Some people do have to put in more work to get there, though. But some people really want the whole, like, oh hey, I've learned this little exploit and stuff. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Pathfinder 2 actually has a ton of content at this point. Like, it doesn't have as much as Pathfinder 1, but what it does have is a lot more pivotal, I would say. They've avoided a lot of the whole, like, feat taxes. There still are some feat taxes, but they're way smaller in number. Feats overall are a little bit more specific and interesting, I would say. You still do occasionally get some that are really annoying, like, hey, you can do this and you get a +1 to it. But there's usually something aside from it. Yeah. And part of the issue as well with the nerfs is, like, I mean, Summoner is respectively less powerful than it was in Pathfinder 1. Because in Pathfinder 1, you literally were just playing 2 characters. The new action system for Pathfinder 2, however, in my opinion, is way more satisfying to play around. And it doesn't result in you, like, having 2 turns. You're still only taking 1 turn, it's just you can do 1 additional action and stuff, and you can swap it between you and your proxy. Casters, of course, are also reined in a little bit, especially at the earlier, well, even necessarily say at the earlier levels, but they aren't head and shoulders more powerful than, like, marshals anymore, which is great. Hello, welcome. Yeah, that's the other thing. Summon monster and summon those. The summon spells and stuff are a lot better balanced now. Instead of basically getting an additional turn or an additional monster, you get the additional body on the field still, but if you want it to do anything, you have to spend an action to sustain the spell. Which means that you can still do your normal spell cast of a 2-action spell, and then you can still command your minion and stuff if you need to. But you have to play around that stuff, and it's a lot more interesting. It also makes things like rangers and stuff with pets way better. Ranger is so damn good in Pathfinder 2. It's fantastic. And yeah, part of the reason why the summon spells also scale a little bit slower like that is because there are monsters that can get access to the summon spells, and they kind of designed the summon spells with them in mind, I think. I wouldn't say Ranger is the top tier class. Ranger is just very good in Pathfinder 2. Druid can do a lot of the things that Ranger can do, and Druid is still very, very flexible. Like, you can spec into... You can still do a wild shape and do, like, a... Oh, the D&D movie from last year. I love that movie. Honor Among Thieves is so good. Or, what's it called? I can't remember the specific name of it, but it's very, very good. If you haven't seen it yet, you should watch it. It's on Netflix now. It deserves the attention. The thing with summon spells in Pathfinder 2e is that they instead give you a list of monsters that you can summon, rather than giving you access to everything in the bestiary. Yeah, I really like seeing how they envision some of the abilities and stuff and some of the spells. Like seeing the duel of Bigby's hand versus Bigby's hand and stuff, and how they actually took different forms. I mean, the sorcerer and the wizard at the end. That was really cool. Oh yeah, it's not a specific list of animals. However, because it's defined by specific levels, there is kind of like a finite list. But yeah. It is intentionally designed that you do summon a monster that is not at your level, because the way the encounter balancing works in Pathfinder 2e, something that would be your level would basically be like getting an additional party member entirely. And they don't want you to be able to burn a spell slot to do that. I remember, honestly, summon spells have always been kind of a issue and stuff in tabletop games. I remember, like, I had a 5e session one time where one of the players basically just did summon animals, and they summoned like 8 not chocobos, and they just completely overwhelmed the battlefield and just completely ended it right there. Stop getting distracted. Nah, it's fine. Honestly, I kind of appreciate having stuff to talk about and stuff in streams, because sometimes I kind of just run on and or the stream is over too quickly because I finished too early as a result. I need distractions in order to keep the stream interesting. I usually celebrate Halloween. I wish I could. Wish I did. No, not really. It's a little weird. Using a little bit of wiggle. There we go, that's better. Alright, I gotta do the script. Yeah, just to kind of segue into another system. I was talking about Beacon earlier. I really like what I've seen so far. Got a cool little community as well. But it is a very small TTRPG. But the idea behind it is essentially it's inspired by Final Fantasy, especially Final Fantasy XIV. Like, as far as the lore itself for the game goes, essentially there's several reflections of a source, and that basically means that there are multiple different realities and stuff where basically things can wind up playing out differently, and everything is slightly different, but there are some consistencies in terms of like basically like how magic might work to a degree. Maybe there's some differences here and there between each realm, but it kind of allows you to essentially have like kind of basically allows you to like craft your own world while still using the official lore. Also, I just realized my icon is very bug-eyed again. There we go. But essentially you have like, depending on what class chassis you go with, you basically get access to a few equipment slots, a few support gear slots, and then also you have memory, which is how you memorize techniques and maneuvers and stuff like that. And so as a result, like, you get to mix and match depending on what chassis you go with and stuff. You might have more weapon slots, you might have more support slots, etc. The Alchemist, for instance, has like 4 support slots that are meant to be used for like consumables and stuff. Support items also include things like shields, battering rams, grappling hooks, some magic gear and stuff. Meanwhile, something more of like an armiger might use might have more weapon slots and stuff, so that way they can use a more variety of weapons and they are rewarded for that. Or they get a heavy weapon slot so they can use a heavy weapon. And spellcasters tend to get a lot of memory, so they can memorize a whole bunch of spells. But they don't have to put spells in there. They can also choose to memorize things like maneuvers and techniques. Basically, Fantasy Lancer. Lancer, it's similar to what I described. It's a little bit easier to kind of wrap your head around, I think, just because narratively, like, the stuff is a little bit more consistent. Basically, when you want to build a mech, well, basically, the way that both of these systems works is that when you level up, you basically get, in Lancer, it's a license level. In Beacon, it's a class level. But every single license/class only goes up to level 3. So by the time you're level 12, you can have potentially, at minimum, 4 classes/4 licenses completely kitted out. You don't get everything when you level up in a license, however. It gives you access to certain pieces of gear and equipment that you can then slot in accordingly. So like in Lancer, for instance, say you're going with like the Kobold license, because the Kobold mech is the one that you want to use. First level, you get access to one of its guns as well as one of its systems known as the Forge Clamps. And you can put this on any frame that you're driving, but specifically those abilities come from the Kobold. Once you get level 2, you get the access to the Kobold frame itself, so you can choose to use that as your frame. And then you also get access to another gun, as well as a tool, as another thing called Seismic Ripper, which is another system. And you can slot these in, and you can basically mix and match them. But then say you want to put points into another mech, you want to put it into like the Drake to get access to his auto, or to get access to his cannon. Well, you can do that. Basically, it's a matter of looking at the licenses, figuring out which ones have the tools that you want, and figuring out when and how to get them. It's a very modular system overall in terms of how you build your character. But Lancer overall it's one of the systems that I really enjoy it, and it's one of the few systems that I will actually actively play just for the combat, because the combat is super satisfying in it. I also really like how both of these systems handle like advantage, accuracy, +1s, whatever. Instead of basically getting an advantage system where you re-roll and you take the better of 2 dice, or instead of basically just getting a small +1 that has a 5% chance of impacting your roll, instead you get a point of accuracy. And basically whenever you make a roll, you roll a number of d6s equal to your accuracy or inaccuracy, or difficulty as it's called. If you have accuracy, basically a positive number, these cancel out at a 1-to-1 ratio, you keep the highest out of those dice that you roll. So say you have 3 accuracy, +3 accuracy, that means you'll roll 3d6 and you'll add the highest one to your resulting roll. So increased accuracy doesn't mean that you suddenly have like huge number of bonuses, it just means that you're more likely to get a good bonus. And then likewise, difficulty imposes that, but as a penalty, you take the highest and you subtract it from your result. The system that I really, really like. I actually wanted to do a video on Lancer just talking about it and saying why it's a cool system and trying to get people into it. Maybe also do the same for Beacon if that does well. But I don't think it would do well. I don't think people actually follow my channel as much for tabletop content. At least not anymore. Actually, I don't know why people follow my channel anymore. One thing I kind of wish that I could do, I wish YouTube is implementing something with episodes that's similar to this, but I kind of wish that there was like tags that I could essentially use that like you could specifically subscribe to. Like you could either subscribe to an entire channel or you could subscribe to specific tags or episodes or whatever. And then you'd only get notified for those releases if you only wanted to see those releases. It'd make it a little bit easier for the stuff that like people want to see to reach them, and you wouldn't have to send something to all followers to notify them about that, even if you know only half of them are going to want it. And that way, because the problem is when YouTube sends a video to a user and they don't click on it, if they're subscribed and stuff, it's assuming, oh, what's this? Your subscribers aren't clicking this video. They must not want to see it. It must be too much of a departure for what you want to do, so we're not going to show it to anybody. Which is rough when you try to appeal to multiple different fandoms or multiple different topics. Yes, I think Newgrounds is worth using. It's overall, like, if you're chill about it and stuff, it's fine. Like, you can leave reviews and stuff, you can leave what you think would be better or what you like, dislike. Just don't be a troll, be respectful. Try to be constructive if you want to give feedback and stuff. Yeah, and the problem is Copper, like, running multiple channels is already hell. It's going to be even less content, because, like, you see how long I go between content. But yeah, Newgrounds overall is pretty great. It's janky. That's why. Alright, there we go. I think this looks done. Yeah, honestly, it's part of the reason why I don't upload very often, is because it feels futile. Because I kind of screwed myself over by wanting to be like a variety. We're gonna punish you if you aren't singularly minded. Thank you, Joaquin. Now I should give her a tiny bit of shading on her nose. Because her nose is tiny, but she has one. Yeah, but when has YouTube ever had good ideas? It's also frustrating because, like, it's hard to post stuff to YouTube nowadays because people have to really want to commit to watching your video now in order for you to get views, because they have to sit through so many goddamn ads and you have no choice over them anymore. Let's see, what else? I'll just keep adding more tiny details to this. Doc. Alright, so last thing before I wrap up here, gonna get this exported. Right. PNG Alpha. Get Google Dance. It's only 8 frames of animation. Alright, and with that, I think this is where I'm going to end the stream. Thank you all again for watching. Always a pleasure. I don't know what I'll do. I might stream more. I'll probably stream more during the campaign and stuff to help promote it more, so you guys will see more of me. I really do, and I do legitimately want to, like, reboot the webcomic and stuff like that. I want to do something with it, and I'm getting close to starting. I promise. It's just, God. Life. I got a surgery on, well, not a surgery, but consultation for a surgery on Friday because I got an ingrown toenail. It's not like an invasive surgery or anything. But, been hurting like a bitch. So anyway, yeah, I've had stuff distracting me lately. Good night, everyone. Be well. Be most excellent to one another. Goodbye.